was not enough. Because when we read the book, we get the information. And the information is something that we need to know, surely, but pairing it with a New Student Voice team allowed us to, like I said, be solution-minded.
Because you know you're going to be competing globally, right? And my goal was that our students who graduate from K County Public Schools are able to not only compete, but lead in a global society.
The United States, she compared those to the countries. So she ranked, which is phenomenal, the different states, colors. So we call them the purple countries because they're the top. Well, Oklahoma was one of, it goes from a range of purple to red. Kentucky, sadly, was yellow and on par with Latvia. But Oklahoma was orange, near the danger zone. In fact, the only state, we had no purple states. The only state that had any kind of merit, which was the next level blue, was Massachusetts.
Yes.
That was it. And so when she compared that to us, our eyes were open. What now you're going to leave as your legacy? Your seniors, you're gone, but you still took the time to make suggestions to improve the school that you're leaving because you care about Dunbar.
One of my ideas was, for here at Dunbar, we have a system that we use called peer tutoring, and it's where kids can basically, as it sounds, peer tutor a class, and you get a credit for it. But the only problem with that is a lot of the classes, which are only general, that you have the ability to peer tutor in, the kids just don't ask for help nearly as much as they should.
And another problem we face at Dunbar is study hall. And study hall itself as a concept is very, helpful. What my idea was to integrate peer tutoring with the study hall. Like people who want peer tutoring can only be given classes such as like general English. And usually those kids do need, although they do need the help, lack the motivation to ask for it. So with this system, it would allow students maybe who are in pre-calculus or maybe even calculus or chemistry or classes like that to help others that really need help.
What happens is that we'll continue to do the same thing because that's what we've always done. So when you talk about the peer tutors in the general classes and the experiences that you're reflected and connecting with this, both with the student voice, you're coming up with solutions. And what you're challenging the organization, if I may, our high school's organization, with your student voice, you're challenging the organization to think differently.
Something that blew my mind, never would have guessed it, is that in the framework of this book, we learned that in Finland and Poland, South Korea, by the way, they did not see as a positive model. But in Poland and Finland, neither of those schools spend money per student like we do in the US on technology. And what the kids said, you're never going to believe this. They said they don't need it. They said smart boards, and you're going to read from the excerpts of the paper, they said smart boards are useless. They said because teachers don't use them. They said, so teacher training is important. They also said, teachers try to use this technology, use all these fancy apps and bells and whistles. In Poland and Finland, they have a chalkboard and desks. And I said, you're kidding me. You guys don't think you need as much money spent on technology as we spend. And they were like, no.
Yeah, talk to me about that because
Fascinating.
We're deep into it. And I admit, I had drunk all the Kool-Aid.
Me too, great.
I mean, I could, one-to-one devices for all of my secondary schools.
In my experience, all the technology we've been using has always ended up complicating things really more than it has made it easier.
The way that I've seen most teachers use them is no different than using a chalkboard and eraser. So I'm sure there are other uses for it that I just don't know about. But basically my understanding of a smartboard is a chalkboard that eventually needs to be recalibrated and takes up class time. And we don't need as much of that, but definitely like computers, like that's,
Sure.
we need some basis of technology, but not like, we don't need smartboards in every classroom and like, unless we're using them to their full potential, which I don't think we are.